Morning, hi, Phil McPhail here with United Country Lifestyle Properties, Maine. Today I'm in Township 3ND in the county of Hancock. We're going to take you on a tour of this lot with over 200 feet of frontage on West Lake behind me. It also includes a camper, 35-foot camper, this beautiful dock, some furniture, outdoor patio stuff, and a little more. And the really nice thing about this area is it's surrounded by thousands of acres of conservation land. So let's go take a look at it together. Before we take a look at the camper, the lot, and the other improvements, let's talk about the location here. Township 3ND, or T3ND, which is Township 3 Northern Division, is an unorganized township in Hancock County. And what does that mean, unorganized township? Well, it's not a municipality. There's no local government, no local permitting. It's all done through the state of Maine. And the trade-off on that is you get a lower tax rate and you can kind of do what you want. There's a streamlined building permit process here and permitting for different things. From this location here in T3ND, we're about 30 miles to the nearest service town of Lincoln. In Lincoln, you'll find a hospital, grocery stores, hardware stores, building materials, everything you need for you're going to need for use out here in the woods. The city of Bangor is about 60 miles, about an hour and 45 minutes drive from here. Boston's about 300 miles, just under, and about 4 hours and 50-minute drive time. And one of the other things about this location and what's in the area is there's over 22,000 acres of abutting conservation lands. We're going to stick around a little bit. We'll talk about that more in detail later. The creation of this lot kind of has a long history here in T3ND. At one time, all the land around this lake was owned by one timber company, and most of it still is. And the lots that were here were created as leased lots. So the people that built camps here in the 1950s and 60s were on leased property. Back in the 90s, the timber companies sold all those leased lots to the lessees. And during that time, they also had a few lots left over that were never leased, never built on. This was one of them. And I sold this and other lots like it about 10 to 15 years ago. So this one's been developed since then. If you're looking for a property here on a lake in Maine that you can build a house or cabin on, this isn't it. Move on, stop looking now. This is for camping only. This lot was created by combining two of the original lease lots. That's why we have so much frontage. It's 216 plus or minus feet of lake frontage here. And the lot is just under the 40,000 square foot threshold that's needed for a full septic system and a building permit in the unorganized territories, or any body of water in Maine, any great pond that is. So no house or cabin can be built here, but if you're looking for a place to enjoy camping for the summer with your family and friends, this is a perfect spot. And compared to other properties, the price of this makes it much more affordable to be on a cold water lake and stay under $350,000, which is about where most of the properties sell that have homes or cabins on them. Property here on West Lake is located at the very end of the road. We do have some neighbors, but because this is one of the largest lots on this lake, it actually has a lot of privacy. You can barely see them through the trees. We've got a beautiful little stone fireplace here made out of granite, quite nice. And the 35-foot campers behind me, we're gonna go take a look at that. But one thing I wanted you to see is how nice and level this lot is. It's all filled in here with a nice fine gravel. Beautiful setting, no standing water here, and let me tell you, we've had plenty of standing water this year. So if you're going to have it, it'd be here. This is a very well drained property. We haven't seen a mosquito since we got here, and I can't say that for every place I've been this week. So yeah, let's go check out the camper. As we come into the camper, we come right into the kitchen area, and there is a slide out here. There's a couple of them, one for the bedroom, one here for the kitchen and living area. We got a couple of couches, we got a place to eat, we got kitchen sink, gas stove, refrigerator, we got heat, and over here we do have a bathroom. As we keep going into the back of the camper, we're going to have a bedroom in here with a couple of bunks, so you could sleep 4, maybe even 5 people back here. Behind this wall here where the television and these cabinets are, there's another bedroom. This is kind of like the master's suite in here. There's a queen size bed for 2 and plenty of storage and cabinetry in there. This is a 35-foot camper. It's all jacked up on concrete blocks, very well done, very neat. It's not brand new, but it sure feels like it's not been used much. So beautiful camper, great place to come spend the summertime. Other personal property that's going to convey with the sale of the camper on this land is the Adirondack chairs here, the swing. We've got a screen tent. We've got some patio furniture, picnic table, pretty much everything you're going to need here. There is an outhouse on the property, and that's for waste at this point, but I think a nice option would be a composting toilet. That's something that doesn't usually need a permit because it's all self-contained. And maybe look into a gray water for your sink and in your shower water here at the camper. As you can see, there's a plenty of filled land here behind me where the camper is, and we have a nice trail here that comes down to the lake. And as we walk down through here, we've got some beautiful hemlocks and big white pine. We've got blueberry bushes, just a beautiful setting here on the lake. And it's from the clearing there, it's about 75, 80 feet, maybe 100 feet to the edge of the high water mark. Set here in the middle of the waterfront, we have this beautiful aluminum dock that's got a wooden deck on it. Comes out here, goes off into deep water. Perfect place for swimming here. We got some sandy, gravelly bottom near the shore. There are a lot of big rocks in this lake, but there's no problem getting your boat in and out of this location. And then back over here, what we have is a bunch of benches and places to sit. Makes it nice to enjoy the water down here in the evenings and the mornings, or watch the kids swim during the day. Folks down here at the lake, and before we continue on talking about this property, if you're here for the first time, please hit that subscription button down there at the bottom. That way you won't miss the next video we do on a beautiful lake up here in Maine. Let's talk about West Lake a little bit. This is a real gem down here in Hancock County. 1,344 plus or minus surface acres. This lake is about 70 feet deep. And I can tell you from personal experience, it's great fishing. I used to fish it all the time when I was younger. I lived not too far from here. Landlocked salmon is the primary species, although I've seen some really nice brook trout come out of this lake. And it also, in the shallows, has smallmouth bass and a really good population of white perch. If you like eating fish, those are great eating fish. There's a beautiful boat landing on the north end of the lake. You can launch any reasonably sized boat here that you would want to use on a 1,344 acre pond. What else can I tell you? Crystal clear water. Got a great smelt population, and the trout and salmon here tend to grow really quickly because of that. Good deep bowl in the middle. There are a lot of rocks along the edges of the lake. Good habitat structure for fish, but in the middle it's kind of a big bowl, so it's a good place to do a little water skiing, maybe do some sailing. Great lake for water sports. Let's go talk about the conservation area now. Hey, before we get into the conservation area surrounding this beautiful property, if you got any questions about real estate here in Maine or our lifestyle that we live up here, if so, you might want to check out our new video series that's launching this week, where we talk about, we actually answer the questions from our viewers, concerns about real estate and the type of lifestyle that we live here. So don't forget, if you want to check that out, look at it in the playlist here on our YouTube channel. The area here around West Lake is really pretty unique. We're down East Maine, Hancock County, kind of northern Hancock, between Penobscot and Washington. Quite a few years ago, the state of Maine ended up purchasing a conservation easement down here of over 22,000 acres. And that includes the ownership of 78 islands in the Catawba Lake, which is right next door, and you'll see that on the map, right next door to West Lake. Those islands range from just a pile of rocks to some pretty large islands, and great places to explore, canoeing, boating out there. All of the undeveloped land here, and there's quite a bit of it on West Lake, that's all part of that conservation area. That's a pretty cool feature to know that what you kind of see out here is what it's always going to look like as far as development, because most of that has been taken care of. Hey folks, thank you for taking this tour with me here in Township 3, Northern Division, Hancock County, Maine. Let's wrap up the video. I hate to leave. It's beautiful here this morning, but we'll talk about price. Price is $116,480. The taxes for the last tax year that we had assessed were $524. That was 2022. 2023 taxes aren't out yet. We have 216 feet of frontage here on the lake. 0.86 plus or minus acres. It's been sketched by a surveyor. We can show you a copy of that. If you need more information, give us a call, 800-286-6164. Or better yet, why don't you schedule a show and come on up here and look at this before somebody else buys it. Thanks again for taking the tour. Have a great day.